we're going to ask the question that is a tough one to answer for a lot of people. Is a branded podcast right for your business? I mean, you've been thinking about it. Maybe you've been a guest on a few podcasts and you really like that and you thought, hey, I want to get on the microphone. I should do a podcast for my brand. There's a ton of potential with it. Or is there? That is what we're going to talk about this week. Hopefully we can help you figure out if it's right for you or not. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the Pedal Stomper Productions studio. I am glad that you are here along for the ride with me. I'm kind of excited to talk about this one because we've had a number of people contact us recently where we started to talk about doing a branded podcast. And when it came down to it, it wasn't the right fit. And I thought, we should talk about this in a podcast because just for whether it be the business, the person, whatever, in some cases, it isn't the right fit. But in a lot of cases, it is. So I want to give you a framework to start looking at why that is. Does this work for your business or maybe not? So that is what we are going to dive into today. Like I said, I'm excited about all these. You guys know I enjoy being in the studio. I mean, that's one of the reasons why we kind of do podcasting. That being said, no further ado, I'm going to jump into it. The first thing, we've got to understand some foundational things about you and your business. So what are you looking to do with the podcast? Is this for lead generation? Is this to position you as a thought leader? Is this for relationship building? Or is this just specifically for branded content creation? All of those are different. Now, if you fall outside of that reason for wanting to do this, once again, you don't have to have one of those 4 reasons to start a branded podcast. But those are very, very great. Those are good bases to start off with. If you don't fit in one of those 4, then we should look at this from an angle of okay, what are we trying to accomplish with this that is going to help the business? Because once again, as a branded podcast, it is there to help the business. So what piece is going to be that it's going to do that? It's all about making sure that your podcasting goals align with some piece of your overall marketing strategy. Because if you just expect to release a podcast out into the world, then that's part of the problems that we've run into with some people recently is they're just like, I'm going to do a podcast and then I'm going to be famous and my business is going to make a lot of money. And I have to tell them no, which is disheartening because you can just if we're on a Zoom call or if we're in the studio here talking, you just watch the smile disappear from their face. And I don't want to be that guy. So look and see, is the podcast specifically going to be supporting one of those 4 things? Now, the other piece that I want to talk about with this is we really want to identify your specific audience to find out, are these podcast people? Now, I realize there's podcasting people of all walks of life. And I love that. I mean, it's one of the things that I love about podcasts. If you go through and look at a list of guests and a list of hosts, you're going to find everyone. There's some groups that are more likely to listen to podcasts than others, though. And those are the groups that really would say those can be a deciding factor. If you're in a heavy podcast listening group, then by golly, that makes this decision a whole lot easier. If your target audience is, let's say, 80-year-old women, maybe we'll want to look at another way of reaching out to people. There's subsets and groups of people that we all know that listen to podcasts more than others. Younger audiences typically listen to more podcasts. Now, does it mean that I'm not going to date myself here, but people of my age don't listen to podcasts? No, we're Generation Xers, we are voracious podcast consumers. but realize that if your target audience may not fit into that. A lot of the people that listen to podcasts are one that are looking to find that entertainment, to go out and to or find that information. It's in many cases people that are looking to grow. It's people that are looking for that better information. So kind of figure out who your target audience is, and are they a podcast listener? When I say, and you guys have heard me say this ad nauseum, when I say figure out who your audience is, make an avatar, make one person, and think, boy, is this someone that's going to listen to a podcast? In many cases, I think you're going to find that it probably will be, but there's some that don't. We get a lot of people that, spend a lot of time in vehicles. I know I spend quite a bit of time driving around. That's why I listen to my podcast. If you get people that walk a ton, those are people that listen to a lot of podcasts. People that, once again, vehicles are great. So if your target audience, you think, okay, the mom audience, well, they may not be out and about listening to the podcast. No. When they're waiting in line to pick up the kids, that's when they're going to listen to a podcast. When they're commuting to work, when they're doing those other types of things, that's when they're going to listen to a podcast. So realize that, like I said, if you're looking for if your target audience is the 80-year-old man or woman, maybe you'd be better off looking at another method to get in touch with people. Is your podcast not getting the results you hoped for? Are you feeling stuck and unsure how to grow your audience or make a real impact? We get it. Podcasting can be a challenge, but with the right strategies, it can be an incredibly powerful tool. That's why we're offering our free no-pitch podcast consultation. We'll spend 30 minutes with you identifying areas for improvement on anything from optimizing your audio or video quality to developing a content strategy that resonates with your customers. If you're ready to unleash your podcast's full potential, visit the link in our show notes to schedule your free consultation. Space is limited, so sign up today so we can help you create a podcast that truly shines. But figure out who you're reaching for, and are these people podcast listeners? Because once again, they may not be there. I want to put one last twist on this. If you think your audience is the people, the scrolling population, the ones that sit there and, it could be you that sits there on the toilet with your legs asleep because you've been scrolling for 45 minutes on Instagram or TikTok or YouTube Shorts or any one of those, or we've all sat on the couch and we've turned something on TV that we were very excited about that our spouse or partner was not excited about. And you look over 10 minutes in and they're scrolling. That's another opportunity for you to get in touch with those people. So are they podcast listeners or are they scrollers? If so, you've got a good chance to reach out to these people, but make sure that they're probably going to be doing one of these things. There's another piece to this that deals less with audience and more with you. And this is a big one that I have to talk to people about because let's be real, doing a podcast well takes resources. It takes, and there's a balance of this, it takes time and it takes money. It takes less money if it takes more of your time. It takes more of your money if it takes less of your time. Hopefully that starts to make a little sense with this. But to do a podcast well, if you want to represent your brand well, there is a time commitment involved. I do research before doing these. As you can see, and I encourage people, have notes with you. It's okay to have a screen in front of you. Make sure you're engaging with the camera, but it's okay to have notes in front of you. I have those notes because I've done research. That research was time. There's time involved with this. If you're going to be posting, if you're going to be the one doing the descriptions, if you're going to be doing the one doing the clips, there's time involved in those. So it's a cost. It may not be a financial cost, but there's a cost involved with that, with the time. So do you have the time to do this? If you don't have as much time to do it, you're going to need to find the money to do it. And we help people all the time with everything from the topics, the questions, how are they going to present this? We've got a couple of clients where literally we send them something a couple hours before they come in, say, here's the questions you're going to be asking. Here's the way you should ask them. They come in, they sit down, they open up their computer, bang, they're done. So they've got the time to get to and from the studio. They've got the time to open the computer and read that. They've got the time in the studio, but that's it. Then they know it's just going to be posted. On the flip side of that, like I said, if you're doing the clips, all those other items, there's that time investment. You have to find out if the budget what the budget in terms of both time and financially will allow you to do. There's all sorts of ways to do this. There's all sorts of things. And part of it is the value in it. There's a couple of podcasters that we have that they do their own titles and descriptions because they really enjoy that process. And that's great. Go right ahead. We're happy to let you do that. We can take that on too. And they take on like some of the more time consuming things. They let us do those. Once again, it's about finding that balance. The other thing that I want to talk about in that resource assessment is the expertise. We have the podcasting expertise. This is what we do. This is what we study. Make sure that what you're going to be podcasting about is something that you have some expertise in. It's your business. You should know it. But maybe there's something that the salespeople know better than you do. Maybe there's someone that's got just this amazing amount of charisma that just oozes out of them that loves to talk about what your company does. Maybe they're the right person for that. But make sure that you've got the chops to talk about the topics and work on those topics and push those things through. That is that other resource that you need to find is that expertise. The last piece of that is having the realistic expectations on this. So many people are, once again, from a resource perspective, they think, okay, for $12 a month with a subscription to something like Buzzsprout or any one of those things, and 20 minutes, I have a podcast. You can. But is that the podcast you want representing your brand? Probably not, I'm willing to bet. You want your brand to look good. You want your podcast to represent your brand. I very much spend time making sure that we look and sound the way we want to look and sound. That's intentional. Make sure that you have those realistic expectations for what it's going to turn out, what's going to turn out depending on the time and budget that you put in. Additionally, realize too, there are some companies that will say, hey, we will get you 10,000 subscribers or whatever. It's not a realistic expectation. It's just not. There are things that you can do to add to the podcast to help boost. And I mean, once again, the podcast should help your social media, which should help your podcast, which should help your social media. There's a circular effect to all of this. And I don't know why this week I have hit the microphone twice already. And that's not something I normally do. But nonetheless, there's this circular effect to it. And they all support each other and they all work to build each other. But it's still work. So make sure you realize that. People that promise you that, hey, we're going to get you X number of subscribers or X number of followers, they're probably more expensive because what they're doing is they're buying those followers or subscribers. If you think that a cell phone farm in Singapore, if you think 5,000 cell phones in a room, and look it up, you will find pictures of this. If you think those cell phones watching your podcast or listening to your podcast is valuable to you, then great, but we don't really see the value in that. We'd rather help you build that organically. And that to me is the big thing. This should be organic. It should be about you. It should be about building you and your brand. With all that, that's what I've got on the Is It Right? Go through those individual steps and look, do I have the resources? Is this something that my audience wants to hear? And what are my goals for this? If you go through those steps, that will tell you, hey, look, this is something we should or shouldn't do. If you have questions on it, I would love to talk to you about it. We do our 30-minute no pitch podcast consultations. There's no pitch in it. Literally, I am here to help you. If we get the chance to work together, I am head over heels about it. If not, I am just glad that I was able to help move your podcasting journey forward. Even if it's like, hey, it's not the right thing right now. We've had a couple of those calls recently. I'm good with it. I'm glad I'm helping people figure out what's the right fit. To me, that's a ton of fun. I want you to do me one quick little favor. If you could write a review for the podcast, that would be a huge help, be it on Spotify, be it on Apple Podcasts, be it on Buzzsprout, be it on any one of the platforms, or even YouTube. If you could give us a review, a comment, I would love to hear from you. And if you've got a question that you'd just like for us to cover, I would love to do that for you too. That being said, there's some interesting news about AI. Yeah, AI seems to be a topic recently. Who would have thought it? We are going to talk about that right after this. For news this week, we're going to talk about how more and more media companies are turning to AI to stay competitive. Frankly, we are one of those companies. The shift has presented, there's some significant opportunities for branded podcasts, because what we've been able to do is we've been able to take some other items and we have been able to bring that cost down for you because we're using so many more AI tools. There's 4 or 5 articles that I have just gone through like in the past week that just seem to pop up about AI. There are a ton of ways that we have put it into audio production, distribution, and monetization. We're using a lot of those tools to help make sure that we're getting brand voicing correctly. We're using a lot of those tools to help us do research before podcasts. There's still got to be that human touch on it. We want to make sure that we are getting this human touch to it. But if I can have it go out and do some of that work for us ahead of time and get us that base information that then we polish up, that is what we've been doing a ton of it with. There's also some things that we have started to do in terms of some of the clips. We're able to add some AI animations into some of these clips, and it's turned out really, really well. There's been some audio enhancements that have come out too that I'm flabbergasted by. We use some tools that are reasonably advanced, but they are able to take something that I wouldn't say was unlistenable, but something that wasn't great, and make it sound pretty darn good. To me, that has been a huge, huge benefit, as we have had we've got podcasters all over, and we've got some that send us stuff from way far away. And let's just say they do not have the best microphone setup. We have been able to do that and work with that. Work with that very well to polish that up. The other thing that we have is there's some targeted advertising that we're able to help with too. We're able to help look at and figure out what some of these audiences are. Who are we speaking to? What do they want to hear? There's been a big investment in this as the industry as a whole, and we've made sure that we've stayed pretty high up on that because we want to make sure that we have the tools that we can offer the best service possible for you. We've been able to streamline production, improve audio quality, and the other thing is we can generate some pretty interesting personalized listening experiences. Leveraging AI for us it's about helping to future-proof our business and to help make sure that you are able to afford to get your business out there. The thing that we have heard over and over, and this is one of the reasons why I love being in the podcasting space. There's audio podcasts that are, you can go download that are fully AI, things of that nature. I get it. Will that someday take over? Who knows? Right now, for me, what matters the most is we're able to help make that one-to-one connection. Once again, I'm right in your ears. I'm in your car. I'm in your AirPods. I'm in your earbuds. I'm right here. This is something that is tough to replicate with AI. And it's one of the things that I absolutely love about it. We are getting that personal connection. Now, I am so glad that I was able to use AI to help me do these articles, to help me get these bullet points set up. Because to me, it's that type of stuff that we're able to accelerate in our business. And once again, we're able to help you accelerate. That can make all the world of a difference. Once again, we're less expensive now for stuff like this because it's so much less time consuming. We're less expensive than we were even 2 years ago for this. Additionally, we're able to make it so you're able to keep that human one-to-one connection. To me, that's one of my favorite pieces about podcasting. It is that one-to-one connection. I'm right here. That's probably a good place to leave it, don't you think? That being said, do me a favor, as always, take care of yourself. If you can, take care of someone else too, and I will see you very soon.
Creating engaging content can feel overwhelming, but it doesn't have to be. That's why I'm excited to share our Stomping Podcasting newsletter. You'll get actionable insights and expert tips straight to your inbox. These are to help you maximize your video marketing and podcasting return on investment. Head over to the show notes and click the link to subscribe to our free newsletter. Don't miss out on this opportunity to become a video marketing and podcasting pro.